Thank you. New question, the member from Durham.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is for the Minister of Energy. In my riding, I often hear from constituents on the work of this government on the energy file. The constituents of Durham know how critical a clean, reliable energy system is to Ontario being a great place to live and work, Speaker. And that's why the refurbishment of our nuclear fleet is so important to them. But recently,
Thank you. Finish, please.
Thank you, Speaker. A new story that focused on the refurbishment sub-project cited cost overruns as a concern. Now my constituents are worried that the project might go over the set budget or will be delayed. They're worried because they know that the nuclear industry is not only a source of clean and safe energy, but that it also brings substantial economic benefit to the region of Durham. Mr. Speaker, could the minister please update the House and my constituents on how the refurbishment project is going?
Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also want to thank the member for that question and for all of the hard work he puts in every day for all of his constituents. As I've said before, the refurbishment of the Darlington generating station remains on time and on budget. The news story mentioned by the member from Durham focuses on only one of about 500 small sub-projects that make up the entire Darlington refurbishment program. There is adequate contingency within the overall refurbishment project to fund any risks related to this sub-project. As Ontario Power Generation states in their Q2 refurbishment update, which you can now find on their website, they are now at the quarter-way point and remain on time and on budget. The Darlington refurbishment project is a Made in Canada initiative with 96% of related expenditures happening in Ontario. This means more investment into our already booming economy. Mr. Speaker, I want to assure the member from Durham and this House that the Darlington refurbishment remains on time and on budget.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Thank you, Minister, for your answer. Since the Darlington nuclear generation station is in the Great Riding of Durham, the economic and job creation benefits are well celebrated by my constituents. We are also very proud of the work that is being done on the Darlington generating station, which provides about 20% of the province's electricity needs, enough to serve a city of over 2 million people. After 6 years of detailed planning and preparations, Ontario Power Generation has safely shut down the Unit 2 reactor at the Darlington nuclear station. On October 15, 2016, initiating the refurbishment of the first of 4 units at the power plant. The refurbishment of Darlington will ensure we have safe, reliable, emission-free energy where it's needed. Minister, it's my understanding that you'll be releasing a government long-term energy plan later this week. Can you provide us with an update specifically regarding the nuclear plant?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The member is correct in pointing out that refurbishment of Darlington and other nuclear generating stations in our province will generate economic benefits, Mr. Speaker. Refurbishing Ontario's nuclear capacity will create almost 25,000 jobs and generate annual economic activity of $5 billion. 60 companies from across Ontario are contributing to the project. All told, it is estimated that the 10-year project, together with Darlington's an additional 30 years of operation, will boost Ontario's GDP by almost $90 billion and create an average of 14,200 new jobs each and every year over that same period. This week, Mr. Speaker, our government will release the 2017 Long-Term Energy Plan, and I'm pleased to say that it will take major steps towards delivering on the mandate letter objective by the Premier to me, namely refurbishing the 10 nuclear units in Ontario, both at Darlington and at Bruce. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.